Chapter 1871. It was precisely because he didn't know what Zhao Yun was thinking that something was wrong with Zhao Yun, or that Mu Lianfeng was extremely anxious. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng continued to ask, Zhao Yun didn't hide it and smiled. I saw Ma Xiaofeng just now. Did she come to our house? Mu Lianfeng replied, yes, she came to look for me. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng explained so clearly, Zhao Yun's smile deepened. This man was very honest in front of her and didn't hide anything from her. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yun would misunderstand, so he hurriedly said, but Yun don't think too much. Although she came to look for me, I chased her away. Of course I won't think too much. I believe that your taste won't be that bad. Zhao Yun's face was full of smiles. Mu Lianfeng lightly tapped the tip of Zhao Yun's nose. Of course. In this world, other than you Yun, no other woman will catch my eye. Zhao Yun was amused by Mu Lianfeng. This guy had learned how to sweet talk. Then what if the person who came today wasn't Ma Xiaofeng, but a stunning beauty? Would you let her stay for a while longer? Mu Lianfeng's face was stiff as he replied to Zhao Yun seriously, Yun of course not. No matter how beautiful she is, she can't be compared to you Yun Although Mu Lianfeng was just using his mouth to coax her, Zhao Yun delt sweet in her heart. Sure enough, women like to listen to men's sweet talk. Even she was no exception. After Mu Lianfeng finished eating, Zhao Yun didn't go to old Zhao's house again. She would leave the rest to old Zhao's sisters-in-law. She had already completed the task of cooking. In the afternoon Zhao Yun was very sleepy, so she went to bed and slept. He slept all the way until evening. When she got up she was a little dizzy. She sat on the bed for a long time before she recovered. He hurriedly poured himself a cup of cold water and gulped it down. Only then did he feel much better. Zhao Yun went out. When she walked into the courtyard, she saw Mu Lianfeng holding Tian and playing with Daodu in the courtyard. Compared to when she had just transmigrated, she was much happier now. At that time he didn't have much to eat and had to worry about making money all day long. He also had to look after Daodu, afraid that something would happen to Daodu. Now she didn't have to worry about these things at all. Yun, you're up? Liang Jinxiao greeted when he saw Zhao Yun walk out. Yes. Zhao Yun responded. Liang Jinxiao walked in front of Zhao Yun, took out a red packet from his pocket, and handed it to Zhao Yun. Yun, this is from your second aunt. She said that it was a red packet for you to cook today. I didn't want it, but she insisted on giving it to me. Zhao Yun was stunned. She opened the red packet and saw that there was one tael of silver inside. Mother, so much. In the countryside, one tael of silver was not a small amount. It was enough to buy a lot of things. Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, yes, your second aunt said that it would cost this much to hire a chef from the town. The chef might not be able to cook as well as you. That's why she gave you so much. Zhao Yun responded and sighed. Li Chuanying was really generous to her. Could it be that Li Chuanying was so stingy in the past? Zhao Yun couldn't help but sigh. Sure enough, people change. Chapter 1873. Zhao Wenhua wiped the beads of sweat off his forehead and pursed his lips. If we rush to harvest, we'll definitely be able to finish harvesting. But we'll have to work a little harder these few days. Yun's father, you've worked hard. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Wenhua with a tinge of heartache. Zhao Wenhua hurriedly waved his hand. What's the trouble? It's what I should do. Liang Jinxiao's lips curled into a smile. The happiest thing now was to be together as a family. If everyone worked hard together, their lives would get better and better. These few days, Zhao Yun's family was busy working in the fields. Zhao Wenhua went to work early every day and finally harvested all the rapeseed seeds. He removed the seeds and put them into gunny sacks. When he had time, he would directly take them to the oil mill to extract oil. The day before the rain, Li Chuanying ran over to the third branch. Looking at Li Chuanying's appearance, he seemed to have cried. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly asked, second sister-in-law, what's wrong? Li Chuanying sighed. Sigh, third sister-in-law, can I ask third brother for a favor? Seeing Li Chuanying's worried expression, Liang Jinxiao hurriedly asked, second sister-in-law, what kind of favor do you need? What's wrong? Tell me. Li Chuanying began to complain. It's like this. Your second brother refuses to harvest the half-mu of rapeseed seeds that we planted at home. He's too lazy to let them grow maggots at home. Isn't it going to rain soon? If he doesn't harvest them, won't it be a waste of the rapeseed seeds? Liang Jinxiao nodded when he heard this. That's true. Why doesn't second brother harvest them? Isn't it a waste to have these seeds at home? Half a mu of rapeseed seeds will produce a lot of oil. Li Chuanying sighed and said, "That's right. Half a mu of rapeseed oil is enough for me to eat for a long time. Sai, that's why I came to ask third brother for help." Liang Jinxiao thought about Li Chuanying's vegetable seeds. It would be a pity if he did not take them back. Then she agreed, "Okay, second sister-in-law. I'll talk to Yun'er's father later and ask him to accept it for you." Li Chuanying's face was full of guilt. "I've really troubled you and third brother. That wretched son of mine is getting lazier and lazier." Liang Jinxiao had some sympathy for Li Chuanying. Thinking about Zhao Wenshui, he indeed did not have the sense of responsibility that a man should have. It was a pity that Li Chuanying still had to live with Zhao Wenshui. Right now, Li Chuanying didn't have the ability or the way to get out alone. Liang Jinxiao patted Li Chuanying on the shoulder and said, "Second sister-in-law, it's okay. Take your time. Maybe things will get better in the future." Okay. Li Chuanying could only comfort herself like this. The second branch's rapeseed seeds were finally harvested with the third branch's help. They were very lucky that they managed to do it before it rained. Chapter 1874. Looking at the situation, it seemed that the rice seedlings in the field had been covered by the heavy rain for the past few days. If this continued, this year's harvest would definitely not be good. However, the farmers relied on the rice in the field to survive. Without a harvest, many people would starve to death. Xuanhuan stared at the heavy rain outside and sighed. "Sigh, this rain can't continue. Otherwise, something will happen." "Yun'er's father, don't worry. If it rains, we can't stop it." "Sigh, that's right. I can't help it. I just can't help but worry." Zhao Yun'er held Tian Tian in her arms. In fact, she didn't like rainy days very much. The rain always gave people a very depressing feeling. Moreover, the inside and outside of the house were wet, which made people feel uncomfortable. Although the weather was cooler, the next rain would cool down. There was no need to keep raining like this. After a few more days, although the rain was a little lighter, it didn't seem to stop. Zhao Yun'er's family was still in shock. A mudslide almost formed on the back mountain and washed away her house. When they chose the foundation, they didn't expect this to happen. Zhao Yun'er hurriedly dealt with it with the family. They dug a ditch at the back of the house so that it could drain the water. Otherwise, if they encountered such a situation again, they were afraid that even their lives would be lost. They wouldn't be able to sleep well at night. However, when they dug the ditch, Zhao Yun'er, Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Wenhua, and Zhao Tianan were all soaked in the rain. After soaking in the rain for a day, they finally dug the ditch. Their bodies were all cold. Zhao Yun'er couldn't stop sneezing. It was obvious that she had caught a cold. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly boiled a large pot of hot water for the family to bathe. After soaking in the hot water, Zhao Yun'er's cold body recovered a little bit of warmth. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but sigh at the changeable weather when she thought about how hot it was a few days ago and how she had to wrap herself in a quilt to keep warm these days. He thought that the weather in the 21st century changed quickly, but it turned out that the weather in ancient times was the same. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er kept sneezing, Mu Lianfeng felt a little distressed and said, "Yun'er, why don't I cook some ginger soup for you? It can warm you up." Zhao Yun'er thought about it and felt that it was indeed possible. Other than her, who had to drink some ginger soup to warm her body, everyone else in the house had to drink some too. "Alright. Then I'll ask Auntie to cook it." "Alright." After a while, Mu Lianfeng brought a bowl of ginger soup over. Mu Lianfeng walked to Zhao Yun'er, picked up a spoon, and handed the ginger soup to Zhao Yun'er's mouth. "Come Yun'er, drink it." Zhao Yun'er felt that the posture in front of her was a little strange. Was it really okay for Mu Lianfeng to be so considerate? I'll drink it myself." Zhao Yun'er's face turned slightly red. "Why don't you let me feed you?" Mu Lianfeng was a little puzzled. Zhao Yun'er looked a little embarrassed. "It's too intimate. It's embarrassing if other people see it. I'll do it myself. I'll drink it faster." Mu Lianfeng smiled and handed the bowl to Zhao Yun'er helplessly. "Yun'er, we'll be husband and wife in the future. So what if other people see it?" Zhao Yun'er said with a straight face, "That won't do." "Alright, as you wish." Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er with eyes full of affection. Chapter 1875. Zhao Yun'er sighed and looked out of the window with some melancholy. "Sigh, I don't know when this rain will stop. It's really uncomfortable to be cooped up in the house these days. How nice would it be to go out for a walk?" Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, "Yun'er, I think this rain is pretty good." "What's so good about it?" Zhao Yun'er muttered as if she didn't agree with Mu Lianfeng's words. Mu Lianfeng explained, "If it hadn't rained, I wouldn't have had so many opportunities to be with you all day long. I'd like to continue enjoying myself like this for a few more days. I'd like to see you all the time and do what I like with you. When Mu Lianfeng said this, Zhao Yun'er's face suddenly turned red. Do what you like, sigh. Sure enough, men are all perverts. She had been resting at home for the past few days and had nothing to do. At night, Mu Lianfeng tortured her badly. The problem was that this guy didn't have to work during the day and slept well, so he was really energetic at night. Sometimes this guy wanted to do it more than once. As long as he wasn't asleep, he would always think of ways to do her once. When Zhao Yun'er woke up the next morning, she couldn't straighten her back and her whole body was sore. This was also the first time she realized that doing this kind of thing was sometimes more tiring for women than men. However, Mu Lianfeng didn't realize it. In Zhao Yun'er's opinion, Mu Lianfeng probably wanted to double the meat that he hadn't eaten for more than 20 years. When faced with such a wolf-like person, Zhao Yun'er could only swallow her grievances. If you continue to be like this, I'm going to be angry with you. Zhao Yun'er glared at Mu Lianfeng and warned him angrily. Mu Lianfeng felt wronged and said, Yun'er, oh, what's wrong? Don't be indecent in front of me. The smile on Mu Lianfeng's face deepened. After being trapped in the house for a few days, her relationship with Mu Lianfeng had improved a lot. Sure enough, time breeds affection. The two of them had to spend more time together. The sky finally cleared up, but there were puddles everywhere outside. It was not easy for people to go out for a walk. Therefore, he had no choice but to wait in the house for a few more days. Only when the road was not so muddy did he walk out. And now it was the Dragon Boat Festival. Dumplings were eaten during the Dragon Boat Festival in both ancient and modern times. As a traditional festival, the villagers would more or less wrap some xianxia to eat. Zhao Yun'er likes to eat meat dumplings and candied dates. Liang Jinxiao likes mung bean dumplings, so no matter what kind of dumplings it is, Zhao Yun'er wants to make some. However, to make xianxia he had to buy some bamboo leaves and glutinous rice. When he was in the countryside he could harvest some bamboo leaves, but it would be more troublesome. When he was harvesting bamboo leaves he would cut his hand with xianxia. These things were not expensive, so Zhao Yun'er planned to go to Sun City to buy some. He also had to buy some glutinous rice and red dates. There was still some bacon left at home. It was enough to make xianxia. In addition, it had been raining for almost half a month. The family did not eat any fresh pork. Zhao Yun'er planned to go to town to buy some back so that the family could satisfy their cravings. Mulan was also planning to go to Sun City. Therefore he and Zhao Yun'er teamed up and rushed Xiaomao to Sun City. After the rain stopped, Sun City returned to its usual bustling state. Zhao Yun'er and Mulan soon found a place that sold bamboo leaves. The two of them sold a few handfuls of bamboo leaves and went to buy some glutinous rice. I heard from my great-aunt that her family has built more than a dozen big brick houses. It's very magnificent and unique in the village. Now the family has more money than they can spend. Hearing this, Wu clan opened their mouths. They couldn't digest so much information in a short time. They have become rich and built such a big house. Even in the Tian family's village, few people could do this. They must be very rich. Then they looked at Zhao Yun'er and saw that Zhao Yun'er was wearing an aqua blue dress today. The material of the dress was of the best quality and could not be bought with several taels of silver. Could it be that her previous in-laws had really become rich? When the engagement was called off, Xuanhuan had not been able to eat for several days. He was listless every day and it took him a while to recover. Even if they were to matchmake him, he wouldn't be interested. Obviously he was still thinking about Zhao Yun'er. If they went back and talked to Xuanhuan, he would naturally agree. He would probably be very happy. The Wu clan smiled and said to the woman beside them, "Sister-in-law, thank you. I'll give it a try when we get back." "Ah, okay." The woman laughed. At this time Zhao Yun'er and Mulan were chatting and laughing. They didn't realize that they were being schemed against. Xiaomao was pulling them away and they hadn't run far. Suddenly they bumped into her aunt, Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui couldn't wait at home, so she ran to Yang City to look for young Master Huang. She didn't expect that although she found young Master Huang, she would end up in such a miserable state. Chapter 1879. Zhao Xinhui's bad attitude aroused the disgust of the onlookers. "This is the first time I've met such a person. Good intentions are really not rewarded. Look at the injuries all over her body. I think she deserved it. Someone probably couldn't stand her behavior and gave her a good beating. I think so too. She deserves to be beaten up. It's not too much to beat her to death. Don't go up and pity her just because she's a girl. Some people are just cheap and don't deserve to be pitied." Zhao Xinhui was angered by the discussion around her. She shouted at the top of her voice, "Who are you talking about? Who deserves it? All of you have cheap mouths. Did you not brush your teeth today? Or did you just eat sh*t? Why is it so smelly? Look at this, how can a girl behave like this? I've never seen such a woman before. Today is the first time I've seen such a woman. It's an eye-opener. This kind of cheap woman needs to be taught a lesson before she'll be honest. She actually said that our mouths are smelly and that we ate sh*t. Yes. Teach her a lesson. Let's see if she can still be stubborn. Thus the onlookers were too angry. They all went up to Zhao Xinhui and prepared to beat her up. Zhao Xinhui shouted at the top of her voice, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You still want to beat me up? Beating a weak woman like me in broad daylight. Aren't you afraid that I'll report you to the yamen and arrest you?" The onlookers were not to be trifled with. When they heard Zhao Xinhui's words, they became even angrier and scolded Zhao Xinhui, "So what if we beat you up? We beat you up. We're getting rid of evil for the people. We're not afraid even if the yamen is reported. Yes, if they want to arrest us, they should arrest us one by one. I don't believe that the county magistrate will punish us and not you, you cheap woman. Women with cheap mouths need to be taught a lesson. We're right to beat her up, not wrong. Why don't we dare to beat her up?" After the onlookers shouted a few words, they all showed their fists. Zhao Xinhui stared at these people with some fear. They were actually so bold to beat her up. "Ah, don't hit me, don't hit me," Zhao Xinhui screamed. However, how could they let Zhao Xinhui off the hook so easily after enraging the crowd? They threw punches and kicks at Zhao Xinhui. They didn't care whether men hit women or not. They just wanted to hit the b*tch Zhao Xinhui. Of course, the woman couldn't stand Zhao Xinhui at all. Just because she was a little beautiful, she acted all high and mighty. She even spoke so harshly. Who did she think she was? Those who had rotten vegetables in their hands threw them at Zhao Xinhui. For a moment, Zhao Xinhui was beaten up very miserably. Zhao Yun'er and Mulan watched from the side and were shocked by the scene in front of them. Chapter 1882. He wondered if he was dreaming at this moment. The things that he had always hoped for had never come true. How did it come true today? Only in a dream would this be possible. How can you do this? After Zhao Ping'er and Ma Xiaofeng rushed over, they saw the scene of Qin Yuan and Zhao Xinhui hugging each other. Zhao Ping'er stared at them until she almost went crazy with jealousy. Qin Yuan was her husband, her man. How could he hug Zhao Xinhui like this? Qin Yuan and Zhao Xinhui both ignored Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Ping'er could not take it anymore and continued to clamor. "Zhao Xinhui, you b*tch. How can you seduce my husband? Big brother Yuan is mine. Hurry and let go of him." Zhao Ping'er was about to rush over and push Zhao Xinhui away from Qin Yuan's embrace. However, before Zhao Ping'er could get close to Zhao Xinhui, she was stopped by Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan reprimanded Zhao Xinhui. "Zhao Ping, what are you doing? You b*tch. Aren't you a little too vicious? You actually want to hurt your aunt." Zhao Ping'er was frightened by Qin Yuan's murderous gaze. Her original actions also stopped instantly. Zhao Ping'er looked at Qin Yuan pitifully and said, "Big brother Yuan? How can you do this to me? You actually yelled at me for little aunt. You even hugged little aunt like this. You've never treated me like this before." The more Zhao Ping'er spoke, the more her heart ached. Tears streamed down her face. Qin Yuan said with a cold face, "You jealous b*tch. Can't you see that your aunt isn't injured? How can you be so calculative with your aunt?" After Qin Yuan said that, Zhao Ping'er then saw the injuries on Zhao Xinhui's body. It was probably quite serious. Zhao Xinhui's clothes were stained with blood, and her arms were bruised. However, Zhao Ping'er did not feel sorry for Zhao Xinhui at all. Instead, she was gloating in her heart. Even if her aunt, this b*tch, was beaten to death, it would not be too much. Zhao Xinhui glanced at Zhao Ping'er indifferently. Her lips curled into a cold smile. Then her slender hands to Qin Yuan's neck. Qin Yuan hurriedly comforted her. "Auntie, bear with it. I'll take you to the doctor and let the doctor treat your wounds. You'll be fine." Zhao Xinhui replied weakly, "Okay." Her voice made the man's heart ache even more. He wanted to protect her. Qin Yuan carried Zhao Xinhui in a princess carry. Zhao Ping'er followed Qin Yuan angrily. Her face was full of undisguised jealousy. However, after being reprimanded by Qin Yuan, she did not dare to make a fuss again. Zhao Yun'er was stunned by the scene in front of her. Now, it seemed that her aunt was going to get involved with Qin Yuan. Thinking about it, that b*tch Zhao Ping'er was pitiful. Although she had finally gotten married, she did not marry a man who liked her. Who knew if there would be more trouble in the future? Of course, all of this had nothing to do with her. She did not care whether Zhao Ping'er was dead or alive. In her heart, Zhao Ping'er was not a member of her family. After the few people left, Mulan opened her mouth. Yun-er, what's going on? It's what you saw. Zhao Yun-er replied with a smile. Chapter 1883. In ancient times, some concepts were still more traditional. For example, Zhao Xinhui and Qin Yuan were one generation apart, so it was naturally impossible for them to be together. If they were really together, people would inevitably say that they were incestuous. At that time, who knew what kind of gossip would come out? Zhao Yun'er shrugged and replied helplessly, I don't know about that. This is their business, so I can't ask. Mulan sighed and nodded in agreement. Zhao Yun'er was right. How could Zhao Yun'er meddle in the affairs between her brother-in-law and sister-in-law? There were weirdos every year, but this year's weirdo happened to be Zhao Yun'er's relative. After the two of them finished watching the show, they didn't stay any longer and drove Xiao Mao to Shuilan village. Xiao Mao, who only came out for a walk once in a long time, was unusually cheerful this time, as if it wanted to fly. Even Zhao Yun'er couldn't stop it. Along the way, Zhao Yun'er and Mulan's butts hurt from the bumpy ride, but they couldn't do anything about it. Zhao Yun'er wondered if she should add a soft cushion to the donkey cart when they returned. This way, no matter how hard Xiao Mao ran, it wouldn't be too bumpy when they sat on the donkey cart. After finally returning to Shuilan village, Zhao Yun'er and Mulan hurriedly got off the cart and rubbed their butts as they walked. Zhao Yun'er and Mulan prepared to walk the rest of the way slowly. The mountain road to her house and Mulan's house wasn't very smooth. If Xiao Mao pulled two people, it would probably be very difficult. The two of them simply got off the cart and walked on their own. If Xiao Mao couldn't pull them, they could give it a push from behind. Not long after, they bumped into Madame Qi, who was returning from chopping wood on the mountain. She didn't know if it was because she had been working hard these days, but Madame Qi's skin was yellow and she had lost a lot of weight. When Madame Qi saw Mulan's complexion, she realized that Mulan had become rounder and looked much better than before. She felt a little uncomfortable in her heart. Madame Qi caught a glimpse of the bamboo leaves and glutinous rice on Zhao Yun'er's donkey cart and said in a jealous tone, "Oh, second sister-in-law, are you preparing to make dumplings? Well, it's just for the Dragon Boat Festival. Didn't our family often eat it before? I used to eat white rice dumplings the most. Look at these things you bought. They're quite sumptuous. Sigh, unlike us this year, I'm afraid we won't even be able to eat rice dumplings." Mulan was momentarily at a loss for words. She didn't know how to respond to the Qi family. What's wrong with making slightly better dumplings? Wasn't it just adding more dates? In the past, his family was poor and could not afford to eat. At most, he could only eat white rice dumplings. But which child didn't want to eat sweet date rice dumplings? Now that he had some money and could afford it, he naturally had to satisfy the children. After all, they didn't eat it often, so it wasn't a waste. Following Zhao Yun'er, Mulan had learned many things, and one of them was to live an exquisite life. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but roll her eyes at Madame Qi. Yes, it's because you eat well. Who asked you to be poor? Serves you right for not being able to afford it. Madame Qi's face instantly turned red and she glared at Zhao Yun'er angrily. What are you saying? Are you deaf or did you not hear me? What's the use of being jealous of others? If you want to eat well, then work hard to earn money to buy it. Zhao Yun'er said lightly and continued to ridicule. Chapter 1884. Madame Qi gritted her teeth and secretly scolded Zhao Yun'er for being a slut. Zhao Yun'er restrained the smile on her lips. It felt good to scold a slut. Seeing Madame Qi angry but unable to say anything, it really made people want to laugh. Madame Qi put away the displeasure on her face. Although she felt uncomfortable, she still swallowed her anger. Mulan smiled and said, "Sister-in-law Yun'er is right. As long as you work hard and earn money, you can buy whatever you want to eat." Madame Qi pursed her lips and said with a bitter face, "Hee, I think it's better to forget it. I don't have such a good life. How can it be so easy to earn money, unlike second sister-in-law who follows behind Zhao Yun'er?" "You're wrong. Sister-in-law Mulan can earn money by following me. Didn't I find ways to earn it myself? But what you said seems to be right. Not everyone's hard work will be rewarded. Some people are just stupid and can't think of ways to earn money. What's the use of hard work?" Madame Qi frowned and digested Zhao Yun'er's words. After a while she reacted. This slut was actually calling her stupid. "Zhao Yun'er, who are you scolding? Did I mention names and scold anyone? Family Zhu, sister-in-law, why are you so agitated? Don't tell me you admit that you're stupid?" Zhao Yuner asked with a faint smile. Madame Qi felt that she had been tricked by Zhao Yuner. Sure enough, she couldn't win against Zhao Yuner. This woman was too scheming. If she wasn't careful, it was easy to be tricked. Sister-in-law, if there's nothing else, we'll leave first. Mulan didn't want to continue arguing with Madame Qi and cause any unpleasant things. She was very clear about her sister-in-law's temperament. She liked to haggle over every little thing and liked to cause trouble. Qi sure was not reconciled and continued to say to Mulan, "Second sister-in-law, I don't have a purse for white rice dumplings at home this year. You should send some dumplings to our mother later, right? An old man like him should at least eat a little. Otherwise you're being unfilial. Even if we split up, mother still gave birth to second brother and raised him. You can't forget that." Madame Qi's words sounded reasonable. In ancient times, filial piety was the most important thing. If one ignored both the son and the mother, one would be criticized. Although Mrs. Zhu's previous behavior was a bit excessive, she was still Zhu Eru's mother. Unless she did something extremely excessive and caused everyone's dissatisfaction, there would be some gossip. Mulan thought for a moment and replied, "Got it." Only then did Madame Qi leave with satisfaction. She thought that she could eat some of the zongzi that Mulan sent to Mrs. Zhu later. At the thought of the sweet taste of the sweet date zongzi, Madame Qi couldn't help but swallow her saliva. She couldn't wait for Mulan to immediately wrap them up and send them to her. However, Mulan also had a little idea. She could send them, but no one could dictate what kind of zongzi she should send or how many zongzi she should send. As long as she sent some zongzi over, she could shut people up. Later she would directly send 5 white rice dumplings. Including Madame Qi's children, it was estimated that Madame Qi wouldn't be able to eat them. With Mrs. Zhu's temperament, at most she would give one to Zhu Dainiu and the rest to herself and Zhu Sanlu. How could Madame Qi get any? Seeing Mulan's straightforward answer, Zhao Yuner knew that Mulan must have her own calculations and plans. Now that Mulan was with her, she had more and more ideas. Chapter 1885. Zhao Yuner shrugged and replied, "It's fine." Mulan's lips curled into a bitter smile. Although there were still some people who were sick of Family Zhu, their family's life had become better ever since they moved out of Family Zhu's house. Now that there was no Family Zhu's nagging, the house was much quieter. After Zhao Yuner and Mulan returned home, they soaked the bamboo leaves and glutinous rice in water. The bamboo leaves had to be washed gently with a brush. As for the glutinous rice, it had to be soaked for a period of time before the zongzi would taste good. Using this time, Zhao Yuner also took out some bacon from home and cut it into small pieces. When the time came, she just had to put a piece into each zongzi. This was her favorite, the bacon zongzi. Other than that, she also made some candied dates and mung beans. Because it was almost the Dragon Boat Festival, old Madame Liang was in a good mood. Although her legs were a little inconvenient now, she knew how to do these small chores. Wrapping zongzi was old Madame Liang's specialty. For so many years, every year when the Liang family celebrated the Dragon Boat Festival, they would eat zongzi through old Madame Liang's handbag. After coming to Zhao Yuner's house, old Madame Liang's daily life was well taken care of by Zhao Yuner's family. There were many chores that old Madame Liang didn't have the chance to do even if she wanted to. Now that she finally had a chance to be useful, old Madame Liang was eager to give it a try. "Eldest girl, I have to make a few zongzi today. Don't stop me. This isn't hard work. I can do tiring work," old Madame Liang said with a straight face. It seemed that if Liang Jinxiao refused, old Madame Liang would get angry with her. Liang Jinxiao smiled helplessly and said, "Okay, mother. Let's make these zongzi as a family." Old Madame Liang nodded in satisfaction. That's more like it." At noon, the whole family had a simple meal. The food was not bad. Zhao Yuner made streaky pork. The whole family ate one more bowl of rice than usual. Zhao Tianan didn't know if it was because he was growing, so he liked to eat oil. He directly poured the oil from the bottom of the pork belly bowl into the bowl, mixed it into the rice and then ate it with relish. Zhao Yuner was used to living in the 21st century. She preferred to eat rapeseed oil rather than animal oil. Eating too much animal oil could easily lead to high blood lipids. In the eyes of modern people, it was better to eat less. But for the ancient people, they didn't consume much oil and water on a daily basis, and they did very tiring work every day. If they didn't eat some animal oil, they wouldn't seem very energetic. Zhao Wenhua also liked to eat animal fat, but she gave the fat in the pork belly bowl to Zhao Tianan. After the meal, the glutinous rice was almost done soaking. It was time to prepare the dumplings. At this time, someone came to Zhao Yuner's house. "Uncle Zhao, it's okay if you don't know how to make dumplings. I'll send some to you later. Have a taste. I have a lot of dumplings at home this time. Zhao Ping was a little embarrassed and hurriedly waved his hand to refuse. No, 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 forget it. It's so embarrassing. It's not easy for you to make dumplings. There are so many people at home. How can you give them to me? Chapter 1887. This. Zhao Ping was still struggling. Zhao Yun said, Uncle Zhao, your cat is not free. What's wrong with eating some dumplings? Otherwise I'll feel bad. After being persuaded by Zhao Yun and her mother, Zhao Ping smiled embarrassedly and said, Okay, I'll try it then. Okay. After sending the kitten over, Zhao Ping didn't stay any longer. He turned and left Zhao Yun's yard. After seeing Zhao Ping leave, Liang Jinxiao couldn't help but sigh and say, Yun, your Uncle Zhao is actually quite a nice person. Zhao Yun agreed and said, Yes. Compared to old Zhao's uncles, Zhao Ping was definitely very nice. He's such a nice person, but he hasn't married yet. It's not easy for a man to live like this. Not to mention other things, if he marries a woman, she can at least cook for him and wash his clothes. He doesn't need to do these chores. Zhao Yun thought about it. It was because this era was the same as the 21st century. For people who were too poor, it was very difficult to even get a wife. Sometimes men were really nice. It was because of these external material conditions that they were bound, so they were always single. Mother, why don't you help to ask around? If there's a suitable person, you can introduce Uncle Zhao to her. Zhao Yun winked at Liang Jinxiao and asked. Liang Jinxiao smiled bitterly and said, Hey, it's easier said than done. Which young girl is willing to marry your Uncle Zhao? The age gap is there. Mother, who said that it has to be a young girl? Can't you ask me to look at those divorced women or widows? Isn't that equivalent to a second marriage? In the countryside it's counted. Who said that a woman can't marry a second time? If she meets the right person, she can marry again. As long as the man is good to her and she has a good life, why think so much? Liang Jinxiao was silent for a while and said, Okay, I'll ask someone later. If they really met someone suitable, it would be best if they could get together and live together. It's not easy for your Uncle Zhao to be alone. Now that he's getting older, it's better to have a companion. Yes. After the mother and daughter finished talking about this matter, they started to care about the kitten. Looking at that skinny kitten, she had to give it more food. Otherwise it might not be able to grow up. Unfortunately, the half-month-old kitten's teeth probably hadn't grown out yet, so it couldn't eat those hard things. Zhao Yun pondered for a moment, then went to the kitchen and made some rice soup. Zhao Yun thought that the salty rice soup was too plain, so she added some leftover meat broth from lunch into the rice soup. Then he took a small bowl and brought it to the kitten. The kitten seemed to have smelled something. It dragged its thin body to the front of the bowl and began to drink the rice soup in the bowl. Perhaps it was because it was too hungry. The kitten ate very happily and hurriedly. Chapter 1888. However, Zhao Ping's female cat was pregnant. After giving birth to kittens, she had to take care of the kittens. How could she have so much time to go out and look for food? Without enough nutrition during pregnancy, there was naturally not much milk. In addition, there were many kittens in one litter, so there was even less milk for each kitten. As a result, these kittens did not have enough milk and were all very skinny. Eat slowly, eat slowly. No one is fighting with you. Zhao Yun did not care if the kitten understood or not. She gently stroked the kitten's head with her finger. It's probably too hungry, Liang Jinxiao said. Yes. We have to feed it on time every day. Let it eat until it's full. I hope it can survive. Yes. When it's a little older, it can eat food. Then it'll be easier to raise it. The mother and daughter stared at the kitten. Zhao Yun was afraid that it would eat too much and die. Seeing that it was enough, she hurriedly took the bowl away. The kitten looked as if it had not had enough and kept licking its mouth with its tongue. So pitiful. Zhao Yun held it in her hands and stroked it. At this time, Daodu and Zhao Tianfu came back from playing outside. Together with them was Xiao He, who had gone out to play with the two children. Xiao He had a garland in its mouth. It was probably made by Daodu or Zhao Tianfu. As soon as he saw the kitten in Zhao Yun's hands, Daodu immediately came over. Mother, what is this? Kitten? Yes, it is. Mother, this kitten is really small. Of course. Zhao Yun replied. The kitten is only half a month old. It will take a few months to grow up. Daodu nodded as if he understood. Then he looked at Zhao Yun pleadingly. Mother, can Daodu hold it for a while? Yes, but you have to be careful. Don't drop it. Mother, Daodu will definitely be careful. As he spoke, Daodu carefully took the kitten from Zhao Yun'er's hands and stroked the kitten's head a few times. The kitten rubbed its head against Lil P's small hand after a few times. Daodu pointed at the kitten in surprise. Mother, it's moving. Zhao Yun'er didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He's alive, of course he can move. Do you think he's a toy? Daodu's little face was filled with a pure smile. I thought it was asleep. Its eyes are closed. Zhao Yun'er explained patiently, he's not forcing himself because he's asleep, but because he can't open his eyes now. After a while, he'll naturally open his eyes. Daodu asked in surprise, Mother, is that true? Yes, Daodu was like this when he was young too. When he was born he couldn't open his eyes either. He only opened them later. Daodu's eyes turned and he sighed. Ah, Mother, Daodu doesn't remember any of this. Of course he didn't remember. How could such a young child have any memory? Daodu stared at the kitten in his hands for a while, then asked Zhao Yun'er, Mother, should we give the kitten a name too? Even Blackie has a name. We should give the kitten one too. Daodu patted Little Black's head and said, Little Black, you can't hurt Little Blossom. You're the older brother. You have to take good care of your sister, okay? Just like how I take care of little sister Xiao Xiao. Little Black seemed to understand Daodu's words. He lowered his head and whimpered a few times. Chapter 1890. When Zhao Yun'er saw this scene, she wanted to laugh. It was the same as what parents would say to their older child when they had a second child in the 21st century. Daodu was only 3 years old, yet he could say something like this. His little head must be extremely smart, right? When Little Hay heard Daodu's words, he licked Daodu's little finger and whimpered a few times. Hee. In the future, Little Blossom will accompany Little Hay. You guys will be very happy together. Daodu laughed. Zhao Yun'er thought that under normal circumstances, cats and dogs wouldn't get along well, but there were exceptions. In the future she would raise both dogs and cats at home. She hoped that the cats and dogs would get along well so that they wouldn't cause trouble. Okay, Daodu, let Little Blossom sleep for a while. She needs to rest. Zhao Yun'er reminded. Okay, Mother. Daodu replied sweetly. When she saw Daodu playing outside, Zhao Yun'er came back with a basin of cold water. She washed Daodu's hands first. Touching animals like kittens and puppies was the easiest way to breed bacteria. Children also liked to put their hands in their mouths. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun'er began to make zongzi with her family. Making zongzi wasn't Zhao Yun'er's specialty. When she was in the 21st century, her mother usually made zongzi well. Every time the Dragon Boat Festival came, the zongzi at home couldn't be finished. Other than the zongzi made by their own family, their relatives would also give them some. Therefore she didn't need to spend time making zongzi. Compared to the big zongzi leaves that she bought in the 21st century, the ones that Zhao Yun'er bought this time were much smaller. Zhao Yun'er saw old Madame Liang skillfully stack 2 leaves together, then bend them into an arc and stuff the glutinous rice inside. Zhao Yun'er copied old Madame Liang's way of wrapping zongzi. Although she could also wrap zongzi, her zongzi was a bit ugly compared to old Madame Liang. She definitely couldn't give the food away. She would keep it for herself because she really couldn't afford to give it away. The candied dates and salted meat zongzi were separated. Zhao Yun'er tied a red string to make a mark. Later she would eat salted meat dumplings. As for the other dumplings, they could eat whatever they liked. After a while, Zhao Yun'er's basket was filled with zongzi. Zhao Yun'er counted, there are really a lot of bags, there are more than 200. Although it was a little small, it was still quite a lot. He had to send 20 over to Zhao Ping to let him have a taste. Previously, Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua had discussed with her about sending some to Zhao Baoshan and Xuanhuan. Although they had separated from the family, Zhao Baoshan and Xuanhuan were still Zhao Wenhua's parents. They should be filial to them during the new year. Chapter 1891. Old Madame Liang was very happy with Zhao Yun'er's flattery. She smiled at Zhao Yun'er and said, You girl, it's easy to make people happy with your words. It's just making zongzi. Grandma is not as good as you say. You almost praised me to the heavens. Looking at the smile on old Madame Liang's face, Zhao Yun'er was very satisfied. Grandma, let's go cook zongzi. Okay. Zhao Yun'er moved these zongzi to the kitchen and boiled water in a big pot. Now that there was a lot of wood in the house, a pile of firewood in the kitchen, a pot of water boiled in a short time. The zongzi were cooked in the pot for more than 10 minutes. She quickly scooped them up and continued to cook the rest. After cooking a total of 3 zongzi, 200 zongzi were cooked. Mother, it smells so good. Daodu smelled the fragrance of the zongzi and couldn't wait to get close to Zhao Yun'er, wanting to eat one. Speaking of which, Daodu hasn't eaten zongzi since he was old. Before, when the original owner took Daodu, the family was too poor to buy glutinous rice to make zongzi. Now that her soul crossed over, the days slowly got better. This year's Dragon Boat Festival, she still had money to buy glutinous rice to make zongzi. Xiaoyun smiled, took out a zongzi and soaked it in cold water. She was afraid that it would be too hot and burn Daodu's mouth. Waiting for the zongzi to cool down, Xiaoyun gently peeled off the zongzi leaves. A fragrant smell of zongzi leaves drilled into Zhao Yun's nostrils. The fragrance of zongzi was mixed with the fragrance of bacon. Just smelling this smell, people couldn't help but swallow a few mouthfuls of saliva into their stomachs. They were really hungry. It really smells so good. Daodu's eyes stared at the zongzi in Zhao Yun's hand. He couldn't wait to eat it immediately. Zhao Yun wanted to laugh, but she felt that Daodu's life was too pitiful. This child had suffered a lot with the original owner. Come on, it's time to eat. Be careful, don't choke. Zhao Yun warned. Yes. Daodu held the dumplings and started eating. However, her mouth was not as big as a rice dumpling, so when she ate, her whole mouth was covered in glutinous rice. Daodu, on the other hand, didn't feel uncomfortable at all. He continued to spoil the dumplings and nibble on them while praising them in satisfaction. Mother, it's so delicious. No wonder so many people like to eat zongzi. It turns out that zongzi are really delicious. Soon, Daodu finished a dumpling. Zhao Yun asked, have you had enough? Do you want another one? Daodu nodded shyly. Yes, I want more. Okay, then I'll peel another one for you. Zhao Yun took out another one without hesitation. Seeing Daodu eat with satisfaction, the smile on Zhao Yun's face became more and more blissful. However, she was afraid that Daodu's stomach would be too full, so Zhao Yun only gave him 2 to eat. Daodu licked his small hands as if he still hadn't had enough. After all the zongzi were cooked, Zhao Yun called the family to eat as well. Although zongzi weren't very delicious, they always gave people a very strange feeling. Perhaps in addition to being a delicacy, it represented the meaning of the Dragon Boat Festival. Zhao Yun ate 3 in one go. She was afraid that if she ate too much, she wouldn't be able to eat at night, so she deliberately restrained herself. Zhao Wenhua, on the other hand, had a big appetite. She ate 8 in one go and didn't feel full. Chapter 1892. After being reminded by Liang Jinxiao, Zhao Wenhua realized that he had eaten 8 dumplings in one go. Zhao Wenhua smiled bitterly. He looked very shy and embarrassed. He felt that he had eaten too much in one go. Well, Yun's mother, I've never eaten such delicious dumplings in all my decades of life. I've eaten 8 of them before I knew it. Liang Jinxiao was amused by Zhao Wenhua, but he agreed with Zhao Wenhua's words very much. She also felt that these were the best dumplings she had eaten in decades. The glutinous rice was fresh and of the best quality, unlike the old glutinous rice they used to make dumplings. Moreover, they only used white rice to make dumplings before. They didn't use bacon today, so the taste was naturally different. It's fine. It's fine if you eat more. I'm just afraid that your stomach will swell. Zhao Wenhua touched his stomach and smiled. He replied, okay, then I won't eat any more. If I eat more, I might really swell. Okay. Liang Jinxiao replied. When Zhao Yun was about to send the dumplings to old Zhao's house, Mu Lianfeng and Mo Yan came down from the mountain. As soon as Mo Yan walked into Zhao Yun's house, he took a deep breath. Wow, it smells so good. It's the smell of dumplings. When he was at home, his parents would make dumplings for him every year during the Dragon Boat Festival. This year he had a mission and couldn't go out, so he didn't get to eat dumplings. As soon as he smelled the familiar fragrance, Mo Yan thought of his parents. He couldn't help but feel sad. With his parents around, he didn't travel far. Although he wanted to be with his parents often, sometimes it was not something he could hope for. It smells so good. Mu Lianfeng also responded. He knew that Zhao Yun's house was making dumplings today, so he knew that the dumplings must have been cooked when he smelled the familiar fragrance. He didn't expect to be able to eat dumplings as soon as he came down the mountain. You're back? Let my mother make some zongzi for you. There are many in the kitchen. Zhao Yun said with a smile. Mo Yan answered eagerly, okay, thank you, madam. Madam treats me the best. Zhao Yun became rather happy from Mo Yan's words. You guys eat. I still have something to do, so I'll leave first. Yes, madam. Zhao Yun went to Zhao Ping's house first with a basket of zongzi. After delivering the zongzi, she went to old Zhao's house. After wandering around Zhao Ping's house, Zhao Yun couldn't help but sigh. It turned out that when one was poor, one could really be poor to a certain extent. Zhao Ping's house was almost the same as her previous thatched hut. There were many places where the wind leaked out. Because he was a man, Zhao Ping didn't know how to tidy up the house, so the house was a mess. It really wasn't easy for a man to live without a wife. When Zhao Yun arrived at old Zhao's house, she found that old Zhao's house was noisy again. But this time it was because of Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui was injured and was saved by Qin Yuan. He went to the medical center to have his injuries checked. The doctor prescribed some medicine. As long as he took the medicine according to the requirements and rested for a while, he would be fine. But because he was seriously injured, he had to lie in bed for at least half a month to a month. Chapter 1893. Xuanhuan yelled at the top of her lungs, cursing incessantly in the courtyard. Which black-hearted bastard actually dared to lay his hands on my huier? This old woman curses all 18 generations of his ancestors to have a son without a d*ck. That wretched bastard is so heavy-handed. Aren't they afraid that someone will die? My precious daughter, nothing can happen to you. Mother only has one daughter. If anything happens to you, mother won't want to live anymore. Xuanhuan's behavior could be said to be extremely exaggerated. Zhao Xinhui glanced indifferently at Xuanhuan and said unhappily, "Mother, can you stop yelling? Are you afraid that our neighbors won't come over to join in the fun?" Only then did Xuanhuan lower her voice resentfully, but she still continued to ask, tell mother what's wrong with you. Didn't you go to look for young Master Huang today? Why did you come back with injuries all over your body?" Speaking of this topic, Zhao Xinhui didn't know how to tell Xuanhuan, especially in front of so many people. If her mother knew that young Master Huang had abandoned her and that she could no longer live a good life, she would probably yell at the top of her lungs again and spread the news to everyone. She couldn't afford to lose face like this. "Mother, don't ask about this matter. I'll tell you later." Xuanhuan was even more curious. What's so hard to say? If you don't say it now, mother will be worried to death. In any case, you should tell mother who injured you so badly so that mother can go and settle the score, right? Looking at your injuries, I'll have to extort at least 10 taels of silver back. Otherwise, we can't just let this go for nothing, right? Before Zhao Xinhui could speak, Zhao Ping snorted coldly, "Grandmother, I'm afraid you won't be able to settle the score with them." Xuanhuan frowned. "I say, Ping girl, what do you mean by that?" "Grandmother, that's because you don't know why younger aunt was injured." "I know, I saw it today." Xuanhuan pressed. "Girl, can you speak faster? Why do you have to make me anxious? You'll only be happy if you say a few sentences in one sentence." Zhao Ping's temper instantly, but she took pleasure in Zhao Xinhui's misfortune. She said in a mocking tone, "Grandmother, you can't blame anyone else for this matter. It's younger aunt's fault. It's all younger aunt's. She caused a ruckus on the streets today and even scolded someone. He just couldn't stand her, so he took action to teach her a lesson. There are so many people on the street. Who knows whose fist landed on little aunt's body? It's not like he's from our village. Where are you going to find him? Her of her Chunhua, was of hers of her, as she, as her, she didn't even know who the culprit was. How was she supposed to find the culprit? Chapter 1894. If she was really seen by the people in the village, there would be rumors of her being ridiculed. How could she continue to stay in Shuilan village? Zhao Ping, why you better not go overboard. Zhao Xinhui warned through gritted teeth. When Qin Yuan saw Zhao Xinhui's anger, he immediately stood up and walked over to Zhao Ping. He gave Zhao Yun a few tight slaps. "You be *t, didn't you hear what your aunt said? You don't have a good memory and only know how to spout nonsense. I think you need to be taught a lesson." Zhao Ping's face instantly turned red and swollen. She was completely stupefied. Big brother Yuan actually hit her and hit her so hard. It was all for that *tc at Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Ping's eyes were filled with tears. She felt very wronged. Qin Yuan was clearly her husband, but he was protecting Zhao Xinhui, making her seem like an outsider. Big brother Yuan. Oh. Zhao Ping started sobbing. However, Qin Yuan did not feel sorry for Zhao Ping at all. He warned her, "Stupid *t, if you make your aunt unhappy again, see how I'll continue to teach you a lesson." Zhao Ping was frightened by Qin Yuan. Although she was unwilling because she loved Qin Yuan in her heart, she still bit her lower lip and responded, I got it." Qin Yuan then said to Zhao Xinhui obsequiously, "Aunt, look, I'll teach that stupid *tc Zhao Ping a lesson for you. You have to recuperate properly now. Don't be bullied. Otherwise your body won't be able to take it." Zhao Xinhui glanced at the red marks on Zhao Pinger's face and felt much better. Xuanhuan was still the best. He taught Zhao Pinger a lesson, and Zhao Pinger did not even dare to make a sound. However, Xuanhua continued to nag, "It's over, it's over. What should we do? Little Hui, aren't you just being bullied for no reason? I think we should tell young Master Huang about this matter and let him bring you back to the manor. You definitely won't be able to recuperate well at home, right? The Huang Manor's conditions are good. They'll definitely serve you well." Zhao Xinhui got angry at the mention of this. She felt that Xuanhua was poking her wound. However, after she said it, Xuanhua still nagged her again. "Mother, Zhao Xinhui's mother's Xinhui Zhao's way," Zhao Xinhui said unhappily. "At most I'll move out today. Whether I live or die has nothing to do with you." Xuanhua was stunned. She hurriedly said, "Little Hui, don't misunderstand me. That's not what I meant." "Then what do you mean?" "Ai Hui, Zhao Xinhui, I just want you to live a better life. It's not a good idea for you to live a hard life at home. Look, you're covered in injuries. If young Master Huang sees you like this, he'll definitely feel sorry for you. Maybe he'll soften his heart and bring you back to the Huang Manor. It's already been a while. The limelight is definitely over. Young Master Huang won't have any problems bringing you back, right?" Zhao Xinhui smiled bitterly. She had already been chased out by young Master Huang. Young Master Huang had also put in a lot of effort to heal her injuries. Wouldn't it be a fool's dream if she wanted to go back to the Huang Manor? Fortunately, the child in her belly was fine. She only hoped that it would be born. In the future, she might even have to do a blood test to make young Master Huang believe her. However, that was impossible for now. Chapter 1895. Xuanhua furrowed her brows when she saw Zhao Xinhui's strange expression. She really couldn't understand why Zhao Xinhui would suddenly act like this. Shouldn't she mention young Master Huang? Zhao Baoshan, who was sitting in the courtyard, was smoking a pipe. He stopped what he was doing and said impatiently to Xuanhua, "The child is injured. What's the point of harping on and on about this? Can't you wait until Hui's injuries are healed? Let Hui decide whether she wants to go to the Huang estate or stay at home. Why are you blindly worrying about this?" After hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Xuanhua's anger subsided a little. After thinking about Zhao Baoshan's words, she nodded and said, All right. Then let Hui rest well. Ai, what should we do with her injuries? I have to make some delicious food for Hui to nourish her body." After saying that, Xuanhua wanted to go to the kitchen and get busy. "Auntie, let me send you into the house," Xuanhuan said politely. He was about to carry Zhao Xinhui when Xuanhua saw it. She glared at Xuanhuan and reprimanded him. "What are you trying to do, you stinking brat? You're even trying to touch my Hui, Let me tell you, don't even think about having ideas about my Hui, My Hui, isn't someone you can climb up to." After being reprimanded by Xuanhua, Xuanhuan was a little embarrassed. However, he knew that Xuanhua was speaking the truth. He was indeed climbing up to Zhao Xinhui. Just as Xuanhuan was feeling sad, Zhao Xinhui unhappily retorted to Xuanhua, "Mother, what are you talking about? He helped me out of kindness and you're still harping on it? If it weren't for Xuanhuan, I wouldn't have been able to come back today." Xuanhua hadn't thought of this. What she said just now was indeed a little too much. Zhao Baoshan said, "Hui is right. Old woman, don't make false claims before you figure out the situation. You'll only embarrass yourself if you misunderstand others." Xuanhua grunted in response. "But old man Hui is a girl after all. It's not good to let this brat send her into the house. We have a lot of family members. Second brother, fourth brother, hurry up and send Hui into the house." Zhao Wenshui and Zhao Wentao responded. They walked to Zhao Xinhui and helped Zhao Xinhui into the house. Xuanhuan looked at Zhao Xinhui reluctantly, hoping that he would be the one to send Zhao Xinhui into the house. Xuanhuan put away the reluctance in his eyes and silently turned his head away. Zhao Baoshan thought that Xuanhuan had helped him a lot today, so he said to Xuanhua, "Old woman, why don't you cook more delicious food for them to stay for dinner tonight?" Xuanhua grunted in response. "All right then. I'll prepare a few more dishes later. It's just nice that I want to nourish Hui's body." Zhao Baoshan grunted in response, then looked at Xuanhuan and Zhao Pinger. "Why don't the two of you stay for dinner?" How could Xuanhuan disagree? He hurriedly replied happily, Sure. At this moment he wished that he could stay at old Zhao's house. That way he could see Zhao Xinhui every day. Zhao Ping couldn't help but remind him, "Big brother Yuan? If we stay for dinner, won't it be dark when we return? It's not easy to walk at night. Chapter 1896. But, if you continue to blabber, do you believe that I won't slap you again? Xuanhuan reprimanded her sternly. Zhao Ping trembled in fear and hurriedly shut her mouth. Big brother Yuan. I won't say anything, alright? Zhao Baoshan took a puff of his pipe and said, Don't worry. Ping won't be back too late. I'll get your grandmother to cook now. She'll finish eating early and go back. You didn't come here on 2 legs. Aren't you driving a donkey? Moreover, the sky is getting darker and darker. There's still a long time before it gets dark. After Zhao Baoshan finished speaking, Xuanhuan hurriedly agreed from behind. Yes. Master is right. It's not too late now. Zhao Ping was still resentful in her heart. How could she not know that Xuanhuan was reluctant to leave? When she thought about how Xuanhuan was still thinking about Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Pinger's heart ached terribly. How could there be an aunt and a niece fighting over a man? Weren't they afraid of being laughed at if word of this got out? Yet her aunt was a shameless person. The more Zhao Pinger thought about it, the angrier she got. If Zhao Xinhui really snatched her husband one day, she would definitely kick up a fuss and make sure that Zhao Xinhui couldn't be a person in the village in the future. What the hell was going on? Xuanhuan hurriedly agreed. Alright. I'll go cook now. I'll go to the chicken coop and get an old hen to stew some soup. I think we should buy some longans and brown sugar for Hui to stew. She lost so much blood this time. She needs to recuperate well. Go quickly. Zhao Baoshan waved his hand and urged her. Okay. Xuanhuan answered with a grin. In the blink of an eye, she arrived at the chicken coop and casually grabbed a fat old hen. When Zhao Wenshui saw this, he instantly felt jealous. His mother was really good to his little sister. She casually grabbed one of the chickens that they had painstakingly raised and gave it to Zhao Xinhui to nourish her body. He thought about how he was caught by Xuanhuan and scolded for only drinking a bowl of chicken soup last time. It was as if he had done something unforgivable. When he saw Xuanhuan shaking the old hen in her hand and thought about the taste of the chicken soup, Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but swallow his saliva. He then went up to Xuanhuan and spoke to Xuanhuan. Mother, this old hen can make a lot of soup. Can I have a bowl of soup when the time comes? When she met Zhao Wenshui's expectant eyes, not only did Zhao Wenshui not agree, but he even scolded Zhao Wenshui. You're such a tasty but difficult cook. I didn't see you being so diligent when you were harvesting the vegetable seeds. You even asked your 3rd brother and 4th brother to help you harvest them. Now you have the nerve to ask for chicken soup. When it comes to food, no one is as enthusiastic as you. After being scolded by Xuanhuan, Zhao Wenshui felt embarrassed. However, he continued to think about Xuanhuan's chicken soup. Since the banquet, he hadn't eaten anything good. Now he only felt that his mouth was tasteless and wanted to eat something with meat. Chicken soup was the best. With a layer of butter floating on top, it was fragrant and delicious. Knowing that Xuanhuan definitely didn't want to give him chicken soup because she couldn't bear to part with it, Zhao Wenshui hurriedly said, Mother, I won't drink your chicken soup for free. I'll pay you. Your son hasn't eaten anything good for a long time. Can't you give me a bowl of chicken soup? Xuanhuan rolled her eyes and said, Okay, for copper coins per bowl. Chapter 1897. At this moment, Zhao Yun went to old Zhao's courtyard. After watching this scene, Zhao Yun only felt that it was very strange. Now that Zhao Xinhui was sent back, she would probably have to stay in old Zhao's house for a long time. As for the love triangle between Xuanhuan, Zhao Pinger and Zhao Xinhui, it could be treated as a joke. Yun girl is here. Seeing Zhao Yun come over, Xianxia hurriedly greeted her. When Feng Xianxia caught a glimpse of the basket of dumplings in Zhao Yun's hand, she also hurriedly came over. Yun girl, why are you here today? Seeing Feng Xianxia's hypocritical look, Zhao Yun ignored her because she still had to ask about something she didn't understand. Instead, she held the basket in her hand and said to Xianxia, 4th aunt, I'm here to give you some dumplings. They've just been cooked at home. Xianxia hurriedly said, Hey Yun girl, you should eat the dumplings that your family made. Why are you still sending them to us? We have to make dumplings ourselves too. Zhao Yun smiled, It's okay 4th aunt. You can send some dumplings to me when you're done making them. You can have a taste of my dumplings first. Feng Xianxia hurriedly agreed, That's right 4th sister-in-law. Since Yun girl is sending them over, you should just accept them. Why are you delaying it so much? Feng Xianxia was afraid that Xianxia would be too embarrassed to ask for them if she had already rejected them. Otherwise, wouldn't it seem that she was too greedy? But then again, my family may not be making dumplings today. Fourth sister-in-law, when your family makes dumplings, remember to send some to me to try. Xiaoyun couldn't help but roll her eyes. How could there be such a person? She only knew how to think about other people's things, but she was stingy. No one could compare to Feng Xiangxia's ability to be greedy for small gains. Qin Hongzhui had no choice but to agree. Since the other party had spoken, she couldn't say no, even though she was a little unhappy. After all, these days they couldn't even bear to eat rice, let alone glutinous rice dumplings. Wasn't it just for the sake of the festive feeling? When the time came, he would definitely not pack too many. At most, he would let Feng Xiangxia have a taste. He would not give her too many. Here, fourth aunt, this is yours. Zhao Yuner counted 15 zongzi and handed them to Qin Zhonghu. Although Qin Hongzhui was a little embarrassed, she still took it. At this time, Li Chuiying also came out. Zhao Yuner counted 15 people and gave them to Li Chuiying. Feng Xiangxia immediately became anxious. Seeing that Zhao Yuner hadn't given it to her, she hurriedly said, "Yuner girl, where's mine? Where is mine?" The corner of Zhao Yuner's mouth twitched. She replied indifferently, "Eldest aunt, why are you in such a hurry? It's not like it can run away." Feng Xiangxia's face reddened for a moment, then she smiled embarrassedly and said, "This? Yuner girl, aren't you looking forward to having an early bite to see what it tastes like?" Zhao Yuner sneered. She was clearly afraid that the zongzi in her hand would run away, so she said that. Zhao Yuner counted, then handed the eldest branch's portion to Feng Xiangxia. Feng Xiangxia took it and sighed in relief. She smiled and said, "Yuner girl is still so kind. She gave us so much to eat. Yuner girl, what kind of fillings are you packing?" Zhao Yun faintly replied, "Salted meat." Chapter 1898. Thinking about it, Zhao Yuner's family was indeed a bit rich. They must have spent a lot of money to make so many meat dumplings. Their family had gotten 15 meat dumplings for free, so they really made a profit. Feng Xiangxia smiled and said, "Meat dumplings are good, meat dumplings are good. I've only eaten them once in my family's dozens of years of life, and I still miss the taste. I didn't expect that thanks to Yun I can eat them again today." Zhao Yun ignored Feng Xiangxia and sent the remaining 15 meat dumplings to xuanhuan. Feng Xiangxia was even more embarrassed. After a while, she hurried into the room with the meat dumplings in her hand to let the men and Shin Pan taste them. After all, they were good things. Although xuanhuan and Zhao Yun didn't get along, when Zhao Yuner sent meat dumplings over this time, her expression became much better. She also pretended to be amiable towards Zhao Yun. "Yun actually sent meat dumplings over. And my father asked me to send them over. He said that it's the holidays so that you and grandfather can try some dumplings." Zhao Yun didn't take credit and directly pushed the matter to Zhao Wenhua. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Zhao Baoshan continued to smoke and said, "Third brother is a filial son. In our family, only third brother and fourth brother are the most filial. The others aren't anything good." Zhao Baoshan's words were straightforward and clear. Xuanhuan replied, "Third brother and fourth brother are indeed more filial than the other two. Especially this second brother, who only knows how to eat and be lazy all day long. We're old now, so we can't count on him. It's already a good thing that he doesn't come over to ask for food. It was fine in the past, but after we split from the family, we can't control him anymore. He doesn't even farm his own family's land. I don't know what he wants to do." Just as she was scolding him, Zhao Wenshui came out of the room with some money. He looked at Xuanhua bitterly and muttered, "Mother, how can you say that about me?" Zhao Baoshan was still angry at Zhao Wenshui for not collecting the vegetable seeds. If it weren't for Zhao Wenshui, the vegetable seeds would have been wasted. These days, those vegetable seeds were worth a lot of money. If they were kept for a year, there would be enough oil for them to eat. So what if your mother says something about you? Wasn't that the truth? Aren't you the laziest in old Zhao's family? Even if you go to the village and take a look, you won't find many people like you. Zhao Wenshui was not convinced. "Dad, I'm just lazy for a while. Nothing will happen if I stay at home obediently. Look at Lu San in our village. He causes trouble all day long and flirts with little girls. Compared to that kind of person, at least my character is not bad, right?" Zhao Baoshan was amused by Zhao Wenshui and said sarcastically, "You brat, you still have the nerve to say that. I think you've almost forgotten about the incident between you and Widow Qian, right?" Zhao Wenshui was suddenly embarrassed. He blushed and called faintly, "Dad. Okay, don't talk about him. I'm annoyed when I see him." Xuanhua snorted softly. At the same time she took the 4 copper coins in Zhao Wenshui's hand. Zhao Wenshui was very sad that he was being despised. He had no choice but to turn around and say, "Mother, remember to call me when the chicken soup is ready." I know. Xuanhuan waved her hand impatiently. When he turned around he suddenly caught a glimpse of the zongzi in Li Chuanying's hand. He rushed to Li Chuanying and grabbed them all. He complained, "You're really a woman. Why didn't you call me out to eat such good food?" Chapter 1899. Li Chuanying grumbled, "Tianyu's father, I didn't call you on purpose. Isn't it because Yun just sent them over?" Zhao Wenshui snorted coldly and said, All right, you only know how to talk back. I'll eat these dumplings." Li Chuanying hurriedly reminded him, "Tianyu's father Yun only sent over a dozen dumplings. Don't eat them all by yourself. Give Tianyu some wine." She hadn't eaten any dumplings herself. She heard that Zhao Yun said they were salted meat dumplings, so she wanted to have a bite. Unfortunately, she didn't dare to tell Zhao Wenshui that this man was like this. He would probably scold her if he ate a dumpling. Zhao Wenshui replied impatiently, I know. You're so long-winded." After Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, he walked into the room with the dumplings. Seeing Zhao Wenshui's behavior, Zhao Yun was disgusted. She couldn't help but say to Li Chuanying, "Second aunt, there are so many dumplings. Don't you want to eat any of them? Why don't you ask second uncle to get some for you?" "I'll forget it. If he wants to eat, let him eat. I'm too lazy to argue with him. I don't want to make a scene at home." Li Chuanying looked helpless. It was obvious that Li Chuanying was heartbroken because of Zhao Wenshui. It was sad for a woman to meet a man like this. He was useless and he even deliberately made you angry. Zhao Yun sympathized with Li Chuanying's fate. Fortunately, Zhao Wenshui was born in ancient times. Women relied on men to survive and the divorce rate was not high. She was afraid that people would talk about it. If this was the 21st century, which woman would be able to tolerate her man being lazy and even flaunting his prowess at home? "Second sister-in-law, you can eat my food." Qian Zhurong also sympathized with Li Chuanying. She took a few dumplings from the dumplings Zhao Yun gave her and stuffed them into Li Chuanying's hands. Li Chuanying hurriedly waved his hand and refused. "Fourth sister-in-law, how can you do that? Yun gave it to you. Your family should eat it. Why are you giving it to me?" Qian Zhonghu smiled and said, "It's okay, second sister-in-law. You can eat it. I'll leave some at home to eat. I just want to taste it and hope to fill my stomach." Li Chuanying hesitated for a moment, but Qian Zhozha had already stuffed the dumplings into Li Chuanying's hands. "Second sister-in-law, don't refuse me anymore. If you refuse again I will be angry." Seeing Qian Zhonghu's serious face, Li Chun felt a little embarrassed and said, "Then fourth sister-in-law, I just want one to try. Don't give me so many, okay?" Qian Zhui thought about it. It was good for both of them to take a step back. She nodded and said, "All right, second sister-in-law. You can try one." Li Chuanying responded with a smile, and a touch of emotion emerged in her heart. She was not old Zhao's sisters-in-law. She could not live in old Zhao's house anymore. On the other side, Xuanhuan, who said Zhao Yun's dumplings, quickly took the dumplings into Zhao Xinhui's house. Whenever there was something good, the first thing he thought of was his daughter. He wanted his daughter to have a good taste. There were a total of 15 dumplings. 5 of them were given to Zhao Baoshan. She only needed to eat 2 dumplings. The remaining 8 were all given to Zhao Xinhui. In old Zhao's courtyard, everyone had already peeled off the dumplings and started eating. The fragrance of the bamboo leaves and the glutinous rice made everyone take a deep breath and swallow their saliva. Chapter 1900. It tastes even better. People say that zongzi with salted meat is different. It has a meaty aroma when you eat it. It's a pity that ordinary people like us can't afford to eat such zongzi. It's all thanks to Yun. Zhao Yun smiled. Actually, bacon isn't that expensive. So many zongzi only cost about 2 caddies of meat. It's only 30 copper coins more than the ordinary ones. Yun, we countrymen have to make a living. 30 copper coins isn't a small amount. Ordinary people can't bear to spend it. Zhao Yun smiled and thought about the hard days she had with Daodu at the beginning. Not to mention 30 copper coins, even if it was 3 copper coins she was not willing to spend it. Poor people were like this when they spent money. They calculated carefully and hoped to save as much as they could. Everyone in the courtyard was eating happily, except for Zhao Ping and Qin Yuan. Zhao Ping couldn't help swallowing her saliva when she saw the food. She couldn't help but move closer to Zhao Yun and ask Zhao Yun, "Zhao Yun, you've given zongzi to other relatives. I'm your sister, so I have to get one too, right? Faced with Zhao Pinger's matter-of-fact tone, Zhao Yun'er frowned in annoyance. Who do you think you are? Why should I give it to you? I'd rather give Zongzi to a dog than to those heartless people. If I give it to a dog, the dog will wag its tail and bark at me. But Zhao Ping, what do you think I'll get if I give it to you? What else can you do except go against me every day? Zhao Pinger's eyes suddenly turned red. Zhao Yun'er, fine, you treat me like this. Who's heartless? In my opinion, you're the most heartless one, you be *ts. If you don't give it to me, I'll ask Mother for it. Mother will definitely give it to me. Zhao Pinger was about to walk towards Zhao Yun'er's house. Zhao Yun'er stared coldly at Zhao Pinger. Sister Pinger, don't waste your energy. I bought these dumplings with my own money. Without my approval, who would dare to give you the dumplings? Do you still think that Liang will spoil you like before? I can give you whatever you want. You're thinking too much. Zhao Ping, felt like she was about to vent her anger. Zhao Yun, you don't push your luck. Sister Ping, you're thinking too much. I've always been like this. You, on the other hand, don't push your luck. When the time comes, you won't be able to stay in your in-laws' family, and your maiden family won't like you either. You. Zhao Pinger's fingers trembled. Looking at Zhao Yun'er's appearance, she wanted to teach her a lesson. However, she knew that it would be like hitting an egg against a rock. She wouldn't get any benefits. If there's nothing else, then I'll leave first. Zhao Yun'er curled her lips and walked towards her house. Facing Zhao Yun'er's swaggering back, Zhao Ping swallowed her anger. Zhao Ping originally wanted to go to Xuanhuan to cry and complain. Who knew that crying didn't work? Instead, she was caught by Xuanhuan and scolded. If you ask me, Zhao Ping, you're too stupid. Why did you have to go against Zhao Yun'er previously? Don't you know who to please? If you get closer to Zhao Yun'er now, I reckon that you won't miss out on us. Zhao Ping replied aggrievedly. Big brother Yuan, I just can't stand Zhao Yun'er's arrogant and proud look. Although she's my biological sister, she's very annoying. Chapter 1901. Alright. All you know is Ma Xiaofeng. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have had to share the money with Ma Xiaofeng. Qin Yuan reprimanded unhappily. Thinking about the money he earned every day, even though he only gave a portion to Ma Xiaofeng, it was still not a small amount. If you had kept the money for yourself, you would have been able to save up quite a bit. Yuan Gij, you can't say that. If it wasn't for Xiaofeng's suggestion, we wouldn't have known about selling pig offal. We've earned so much money, haven't we lost out to Xiaofeng? You can't be unwilling to share the money with Xiaofeng, right? Qin Yuan couldn't be bothered with Zhao Pinger anymore. He really didn't want to waste his breath on this stupid woman. He only hoped that he wouldn't be dragged down by Zhao Pinger in the future. However, he didn't see any hope in the past. Now he was full of expectations. After all, after today he knew that his aunt was willing to accept him. His originally silent heart was suddenly rekindled with new hope. Perhaps one day he would be able to marry Zhao Xinhui. As for Zhao Pinger, she had better be obedient. He was still willing to stay in the family Qin and order her around. However, if Zhao Pinger didn't listen to him, then she could scram back to wherever she came from. He absolutely couldn't dirty his eyes. Zhao Pinger stood in front of Qin Yuan with an aggrieved expression, afraid that Qin Yuan would hate her. When she thought about Zhao Xinhui again, Zhao Pinger couldn't help but think about how she could distance Qin Yuan from Zhao Xinhui. If the two of them were often together, perhaps Zhao Xinhui would really seduce Qin Yuan and snatch her husband back. Although Qin Yuan was a little poor, that was in the past. Now, by relying on the pig offal, the family Qin was slowly becoming wealthy. Coupled with Qin Yuan's appearance, he was definitely one of the best men in the countryside. If Zhao Xinhui took a fancy to her, it would be even more understandable. Zhao Pinger was thinking about this worriedly. On the other side, in the Tian family village, she didn't just think about Zhao Yun'er's family when she came back from town. He had to let Xuanhuan go to Zhao Yun'er's house as soon as possible to clarify the matter. Otherwise, if someone else proposed the marriage first, their family would suffer a great loss. In the past 2 years, in order to support Xuanhuan's studies, the Tian family had sold a lot of land. Their lives were getting harder and harder. Therefore, the family had to get more income now. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to last until Xuanhuan passed the high scholar examination. When Xuanhuan passed the high scholar examination, his life would definitely be much better. At that time, he would be able to become a high-ranking official, and all the previous hardships would be worth it. Now that he had gotten close to Zhao Yun'er's family, he asked Zhao Yun'er's family to provide some money to help his Xuanhuan continue his studies. In addition, his family would be able to live a better life during this period. After the Wu clan calculated everything in his heart, he couldn't wait to go to Zhao Yun'er's house and bring Xuanhuan along to talk to them. When the Wu clan returned home with the ox cart, he patted his aching back. This ox cart was really uncomfortable. There were so many people and it was very bumpy. Moreover, it was very slow. At his age, his waist and legs couldn't bear it at all. He thought about the donkey that Zhao Yun'er used. It was much faster to drive a donkey back home. With a donkey, he didn't have to squeeze with so many people. How comfortable it was. If he really waited for Zhao Yun'er to marry into his family, then wouldn't the things that Zhao Yun'er used now belong to the Tian family? Chapter 1902. Wu clan carried the basket and walked into their house. Their house was low and dilapidated and the walls were cracked. Their house was considered dilapidated in the village. Their family was poor in the past and they were laughed at by the villagers. Later, their child said that if they wanted to change their family situation, they had to send their child to school and let their child stand out. Only then could they have a chance to change their lives, and avoid being poor for the rest of their lives and never being able to raise their heads in front of others. Fortunately, their xuanhuan was really angry. After spending money on his education, he studied very hard and later became a county official. This was unique in the village. These days, scholars were the most respected, especially Xuanhuan, who became a county official. As long as he worked hard, Xuanhuan could become a county official. How many people in the village could become an official? Therefore, after Xuanhuan became a county official, the villagers were much more polite to the Tian family. From time to time they would curry favor with them, and many people would often send vegetables to the Tian family. They were probably waiting for Xuanhuan to become successful one day and repay them so that they could receive some benefits. After eating vegetarian dishes for many days, she and her child's father couldn't stand it anymore. They often felt that their stomachs were empty, and they didn't have much energy. Fortunately, there weren't many fields and they didn't have to do too much work. However, thinking that Xuanhuan worked hard every day to study, they couldn't not have any energy. Therefore, when they went to Yang City today, the Wu clan gritted their teeth and came back with half a caddy of meat. Although it wasn't a lot, it was enough to nourish Xuanhuan's body. The owner of the stall was not bad. He gave them some fatty meat with enough oil. If they put it in a pot to make oil, they would definitely feel more energetic after eating it. After the Wu clan walked into the house, they put the basket in their hands on a stool. Then they walked to Xuanhuan's house and looked in through the crack in the door. They saw Xuanhuan sitting in front of the table, carefully flipping through a book in his hands. He was concentrating on reading. His thin and weak body showed a sense of determination. When the Wu clan saw this, they couldn't help but smile. What she was most proud of in her life was that she had given birth to such a promising son. He would put in a lot of effort to study for him. Now that he had passed the elementary scholar examination, he was working hard to prepare for the high scholar examination. However, when the Wu clan thought of Xuanhuan waking up early and going to bed late every day to read books, they felt very distressed. After standing for a while, the Wu clan knocked on Xuanhuan's door. Xuanhuan finally reacted and looked in the direction of the door. "Mom, what's wrong?" Xuanhuan asked. Wu clan walked in and said with a smile, "Xuanhuan, you don't have to study so hard. When it's time to rest, rest well. That's the most important thing. Mother saw that you've been watching for quite a while. Why don't you take a break and watch again?" Xuanhuan smiled and shook his head. "Mom, don't worry about me. I'm fine." "Even if you're fine, you should take a break. Chat with Mom for a while." Xuanhuan thought for a while, then put down the book in his hands and replied, "Okay, Mom. I'll chat with you for a while. What do you want to talk about?" The Wu clan sat down next to Xuanhuan and said mysteriously, "Xuanhuan, guess who I met in Yang City today?" Xuanhuan frowned and thought for a while. Then he asked in confusion, "Mom, who did you meet?" Moreover, Xuanhuan thought about how he accidentally bumped into Zhao Yun'er last time. Zhao Yun'er seemed to be unable to resist him. Since it was like this, how could he propose marriage? How could he be willing to marry her if he forgot about her? Wu clan didn't agree and said with a straight face, "Xuanhuan, you can't say that. You're so good that you can't even find a single person in the surrounding villages. When you pass the provincial exam, you can become an official. Zhao Yun'er will be the wife of an official after she marries you. She got pregnant before marriage and her conditions aren't good to begin with. It's her blessing that you can marry her. What reason does she have to refuse?" Chapter 1904. Xuanhuan was not happy. He muttered, "Mother, how can it be like this?" The Wu clan insisted, "Xuanhuan, I don't care. You have to go to Zhao Yun'er's house. What if this marriage is successful? After you marry Zhao Yun'er, our Tian family's financial pressure will be reduced a lot. When the time comes, we can ask their family to sponsor your studies. When you pass the provincial examination and become an official, won't you take them to enjoy life together?" "Mother, I can't." Xuanhuan refused. "Don't say any more. I don't care. Xuanhuan, I'll go back and prepare. You and I will go to the Zhao family together." Before Xuanhuan could refuse, the Wu clan left Xuanhuan's room. Xuanhuan felt helpless for a moment. However, when he thought of Zhao Yun, Xuanhuan's heart moved slightly. He could forget if he didn't think of her. However, when he thought of Zhao Yun, Xuanhuan missed her. Ever since he separated from Zhao Yun, he hadn't met a girl he liked. Previously, matchmakers had come to his house to talk about marriage many times. However, he didn't like any of them. Instead, he felt that those girls couldn't compare to Zhao Yun. Perhaps in this life he would only think of Zhao Yun and couldn't tolerate other women. Back then his parents didn't agree. This time, since they took the initiative to bring it up, should he accept? Perhaps he could give it a try. If Zhao Yun agreed, he could be with Zhao Yun. After Xuanhuan was moved, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. At old Zhao's house, after dinner and waiting for everyone to leave, xuanhuan continued to go to Zhao Xinhui's room. Facing Zhao Xinhui, xuanhuan chuckled and said, There's no one here now. Can you tell mother what's going on? Didn't I go to look for young Master Huang today? How did you come back with so many injuries?" Now that there was no one around, Zhao Xinhui knew that no one would laugh at her. She was really annoyed by Xuanhua's nagging, so she said honestly, "Mother, don't mention young Master Huang anymore. I can't go back in the future." Xuanhua stared blankly for a moment, her eyes filled with shock. What's going on? Why can't I go back in the future? Have you found young Master Huang? What did young Master Huang say? Hearing Xuanhua's nagging, Zhao Xinhui was very annoyed. "Mother, you asked so many questions at once. How can I answer you?" Xuanhua quickly said, Okay. Take your time and answer them one by one. Zhao Xinhui pursed her lips and finally said, "Mother, what's there to say? It's just that young Master Huang won't let me go back." Zhao Xinhui recounted what happened that day. When Xuanhua heard it, she immediately exploded. "What? How could you do that? That legal wife is so shameless. How could she do such a thing? Isn't it obvious? Who else could the child in your stomach belong to other than young Master Huang? Mother, what's the use of saying that to me? Young Master Huang won't believe it. Why don't mother go to his house and talk to him? How can this do? It's obvious that she's framing him. You can't take the blame for this. The Huang family is so rich. You can live a good life if you go back. You can't give up so easily. Didn't that legal wife frame you because young Master Huang dotes on you?" Chapter 1905. Xuanhua's heart sank. Without young Master Huang, she would lose her income and support. Could it be that her little Hui'er would not be able to return to the Huang family? What should she do? It wasn't easy for her daughter to marry into a good husband's family, but now it seemed that her hopes were dashed. How could such a thing happen to her after she got married? It was impossible for Zhao Xinhui to continue staying in her maiden home. Not to mention she had to serve her all day long. If she didn't go to the Huang family, where would Zhao Xinhui get money? She couldn't possibly spend the rest of her life with that little bit of money. Seeing Xuanhua's ugly smile, Zhao Xinhui was a little angry. "Mother, what do you mean by this? Do you not want me to stay at home? At worst, I'll just move out." Xuanhua quickly waved her hand. No, little mother didn't mean anything. Don't think too much. How can you move out with your body like this? You have to recuperate well at home. Mother still has to make good food for you." Zhao Xinhui sneered and replied, "Mother, since that's the case, then shut up. Don't talk so much. Aren't you afraid of annoying people to death with your nagging?" Xuanhua sighed and could only agree. Okay. Mother will listen to you, okay? I won't say any more. After Xuanhua finished speaking, she left Zhao Xinhui's room. However, her face was still full of worry. The good life that she had been looking forward to, was it going to return to its original state? She was used to living a good life. If she had to live a hard life again, she couldn't bear it. No, she had to think of a good way. Otherwise, what could she do if this continued? Zhao Baoshan noticed that Xuanhuan had been sighing non-stop after coming out of Zhao Xinhui's room, as if she had encountered something. He asked impatiently, "I say, what's wrong with you, old woman?" She kept sighing as if she had encountered a huge problem. Could she not be like this? Just listening to your voice makes me annoyed. Xuanhuan put on a bitter face and said to Zhao Baoshan with an aggrieved look, "Old man, what are you talking about?" "I'm just worried." Zhao Baoshan snorted. "You're worried? Tell me, what are you worried about?" Xuanhuan pursed her lips. "Old man, sigh, aren't you worried about Hui'er?" Hearing Xuanhuan mention Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Baoshan replied disdainfully, "He's just a little injured. He'll be fine after resting for a while." Xuanhuan continued to sigh, "Hey old man, that's not what I'm worried about." Zhao Baoshan replied impatiently, "Can't you just say it in one breath? You're going to stop here and there. I don't even know what you want to say." Xuanhuan thought for a while. She couldn't confide in others. If she didn't tell Zhao Baoshan, she would have no one to talk to. Chapter 1906. Zhao Baoshan didn't care. What should we do? What can we do? Let's just do it. It's not a big deal. Anyway, she wasn't married before and she didn't expect to be married at that time. Now she can go back to her mother's house and live there for the rest of her life. Besides, we were poor before, so we probably didn't have enough money to support Hui'er. Now the money that Hui'er brought back from the Huang family's house is enough for us to live in luxury for the rest of our lives. There's nothing to worry about. Xuanhuan felt that Zhao Baoshan's words were somewhat reasonable. Zhao Xinhui's marriage was grand at that time, and Lord Huang was such a rich man. Everyone in the village was envious of her. If people knew that Zhao Xinhui was chased back to her mother's house not long after she got married, many people in the village would laugh at her. She was also a person who cared about her reputation. She couldn't stand others laughing at her. Every time she thought of that kind of feeling, she felt very upset. Alas! Xuanhuan sighed heavily. She looked very sad. Zhao Baoshan couldn't stand Xuanhuan's behavior, so he put down his tobacco pipe. "Stop sighing. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm going to sleep now," Zhao Baoshan said, then took off his clothes and went to bed directly. He fell into a deep sleep the moment his head hit the pillow. Xuanhuan's mind was filled with those bad emotions, so she couldn't fall asleep even in the middle of the night. Zhao Yun'er's family didn't have much work to do these days. They just took care of the paddy field. After it rained for many days, the paddy field was full of water. Many seedlings were submerged. Previously they wanted to fill the paddy field with water, but now they were busy draining the paddy field. However, they got a lot of good things while draining the paddy field. After the heavy rain, the paddy field was filled with loaches, eels, crabs, fish and shrimps. In addition, Zhao Wenshui caught 2 big turtles and brought them over. These things were packed into a small bucket. In the countryside, fish and shrimp were not considered good food. Compared to fish, everyone preferred to eat pork. After all, fish did not have much oil. Only pork had enough oil. As for Old Turtle, Zhao Wenshui originally planned to catch it for his 2 children to play with. In the countryside, no one would eat this thing. Its shell was especially hard, and the villagers felt that it was not something that could be eaten. It was even thought to be poisonous, so under normal circumstances, no one would touch it. However, when Zhao Wenshui brought it back, Zhao Yun'er treated it like a treasure. Thinking about it, ancient people were really interesting. In the 21st century, people in ancient times were too lazy to eat things that everyone thought were good. For example, in the 21st century, all kinds of wild vegetables could not be bought with money. Those wild vegetables could only be eaten by people in the countryside. As for wild fish and old turtles, they were even rarer. In the 21st century, the ones sold in the world were basically all artificially bred, so Dao querying couldn't compare to wild ones. Wild old turtles were very nourishing things. When stewed into a soup, it tasted delicious, much better than pork rib soup and chicken soup. Now she could stew the old turtle and give it to Liang Jinxiao and her family to nourish their bodies. It was also very beneficial for old people like old lady Liang to eat. When Zhao Wenhua saw that Zhao Yun'er wanted to eat the old turtle, he asked with a puzzled expression, "Yun'er, do you think this thing is really edible? How can such a big shell be eaten?" Chapter 1907. Father, it's edible. It's just that you don't know how to handle it and how to make it delicious. You think it's inedible because you haven't tried it before. This thing tastes better than an old hen. Of course, if you don't handle it well, it won't taste good. After hearing Zhao Yun'er's words, Zhao Wenhua nodded. He knew that Zhao Yun'er had a lot of ideas. Wasn't Yun'er the one who made all the delicious food at home? Thinking of the pig offal that Zhao Yun'er had made in the past, Zhao Yunlong was still sighing. It was difficult for others to sell it for a single copper coin, but in Zhao Yun'er's hands, it could be made into delicious food. Alright Yun'er, make it and try it. If it tastes good, I'll go to the fields to catch more. This thing isn't rare in our fields. You can catch it casually. Zhao Yun'er responded. Zhao Yun'er carefully cleaned the things that she caught. She could eat them directly without going to Yang City to buy good things. If they were in the 21st century, who knew how much money they would have to spend to buy so many good things? Zhao Yun'er handled the old turtle. Although it was a little troublesome, Zhao Yun'er swallowed her saliva when she thought about the taste of the old turtle soup. She worked harder. Soon Zhao Yun'er finished handling the things that Zhao Wenhua brought back. She also put the old turtle into the pot and started cooking. After putting in the seasoning, Zhao Yun'er added wood and water in the stove and started cooking. She didn't put too much water in the pot. She was afraid that too much water would dilute the taste. When the time came, it would be enough for everyone at home to drink 1 or 2 bowls. Zhao Wenhua could just catch more and stew it a few more times. Mother, I'll go get some wild vegetables. Zhao Yun'er called out. In addition to meat dishes, Zhao Yun'er planned to make a few vegetarian dishes. Previously, she saw that the wild vegetables at the foot of the mountain were growing well. Now she wanted to pick some and cook them. After the rain, the wild vegetables had grown even more. However, not long after Zhao Yun'er left, xuanhuan arrived at Zhao Yun'er's house. During this period of time, Zhao Xinhui had been recuperating at home and had eaten a lot of good food. A few of the hens that he had raised had been eaten. If he continued to eat hens that could not lay eggs, he would have to buy more eggs when he returned. Therefore, xuanhuan reserved 2 or 3 for laying eggs. However, Zhao Xinhui would feel suffocated if he didn't eat good food for a day. He kept saying that he wanted to eat good food. Thinking about the injuries on Zhao Xinhui's body, xuanhuan felt that she really couldn't treat Zhao Xinhui shabbily. She couldn't be bothered to go to Yang City. After a long time, she came to the 3rd branch to see if she could get some good food from them. Therefore she came over now. The moment she walked into Zhao Yun'er's courtyard, xuanhuan shouted at the top of her lungs, third brother's wife. Mother, what's wrong? Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao both walked out. Usually xuanhuan rarely came to the 3rd branch's courtyard. This time she suddenly came over, so Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao thought that something had happened. Xuanhuan said, It's nothing. I just came to ask you for 2 hens. Don't you have some at home? Hui'er is injured, so she needs to eat good food to nourish her body. My family's chickens are almost finished, so I thought that the 3rd branch would have some. From xuanhuan's tone and attitude, it seemed like she wanted to take it for free. The 3rd branch naturally felt uncomfortable when they heard that. Now that they had separated from the family, the 3rd branch's things had nothing to do with old Zhao's family. Chapter 1908. If it was in the past, with Zhao Wenhua's stubborn and filial character, he would have probably stuffed 2 hens into xuanhuan's hands. Now that he had been following Zhao Yun'er around for the past few days, he had learned a lot of principles. It wasn't easy for a family to live a good life, so they couldn't be too kind. If they gave others whatever they wanted, it would only make them want a yard after taking an inch. Zhao Wenhua knew xuanhuan's character very well. She was the kind of person who would think of ways to take advantage of others. After hesitating for a moment, he said, Mother, the hens we raise at home are all used to lay eggs. We can't even bear to eat them. If I catch 2 hens for you, we won't have enough eggs at home and we'll have to spend money to buy more. It's not worth it. Xuanhuan rolled her eyes at Zhao Wenhua. You black-hearted son, you just don't want to give them to me. Why are you still talking so much? I've really raised you for nothing. When you were young, I raised you with all my might. Now that you're all grown up, I don't see you being filial to this old woman. Faced with xuanhuan's scolding, Zhao Wenhua felt uncomfortable. Mother, I'm telling the truth. The hens we raise at home are indeed used to lay eggs. Why don't Mother go ask eldest brother and second brother? They should also be raising hens, right? Xuanhuan lightly snorted. The 1st branch and 2nd branch did indeed raise hens, but it wasn't easy to take advantage of them. The 1st branch was too stingy with xianxia. If they really wanted an old hen, they would probably quarrel with her. As for the 2nd branch, what was so good about them? Zhao Wenxue would eat them first and definitely wouldn't give them to her. After thinking about it, the only possibility was to go to the 3rd branch. Who asked the 3rd branch to be rich? She had saved so much money at home, so what was 2 hens to her? Third brother, the richer people are, the more willing they are. Why is your family so stingy? You're already so rich. What's wrong with giving me 2 chickens? What's wrong with giving your little sister some nourishment? If 2 of your hens aren't enough to lay eggs in the future, Yun can just go to Yang City and buy more. Xuanhuan scolded with a displeased expression. This. Zhao Wenhua was embarrassed. She didn't expect Xuanhuan to expose her so directly. How did I give birth to such an unfilial son? If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have raised you when you were young. Xuanhuan slapped her thigh and started making a fuss. She wanted to see if Zhao Wenhua would give in after making a fuss. Of course, the reason why Xuanhuan dared to make a scene was that she didn't see Zhao Yun come out. Without this ruthless character, Xuanhuan was still somewhat confident in dealing with her son. She knew that her third son was usually considered filial and wouldn't be able to accept her words. Zhao Tianan listened from the side and couldn't help but retort, "Grandmother, why don't you have any conscience when you speak? Is my father not filial enough to you? After the Dragon Boat Festival, my father specially asked my second sister to send you salted meat dumplings. Did you see the other uncles send them? You have to put yourself in their shoes. You can't always criticize my father." After Zhao Tianan finished speaking, Xuanhua's expression immediately darkened. Because Zhao Tianan was speaking the truth, Xuanhua appeared very agitated. "Brat, how can you talk to your elders like that? Who are you to interrupt when I'm talking to your father?" Zhao Tianan muttered unhappily, "Grandmother, I'm not interrupting. I'm just stating the facts. You're in the wrong. What right do you have to criticize my father?" You're tuning in to the Sword Dance in the Vast Sky YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.